welcome to Around the Hoop, the Westwood basketball program. I'm your host, Mike Gay, in the 4th season, 1st episode. Welcome to all of our viewers from around Westwood and around the globe. We have a new segment called Coach's Corner, and once again, I'm joined with Coach St. Martin and Coach Clifford.
It's good to see you, Mike.
Good to be back.
Welcome back. I know, who would have thought? I also want to apologize to the two of you and all of the viewers for, again, Movember, this wonderful mustache. It's pretty bad. If you do want to donate, you can find me on Facebook and my Movember page. It'll be gone soon if you donate. So again, coaches, it's been what seems like a blink of the eye, but 6 months since our last episode.
Right.
Why don't, Coach Clifford, you walk us through what you've done in the off-season, both with your team and with the youth program?
Sure. I'll start with the youth program. We do a ton of stuff throughout the year. So coming out of our season, we do spring clinics for pretty much all ages, kindergarten to 8th grade. Our summer programs are probably the most fun. We do the kind of week-long, they're longer clinics with the kids are on teams and competing, and the kids just have a blast. So we had another successful summer with that. Last year, so for our second year, we added a summer league for middle school just to get kids another opportunity to get in the gym and get better. So that's been a lot of fun too. And then this fall, we did our usual September skills and drills. October Fall League. We're in our November kindergarten to 4th grade skills and drills. We have the last week of that. So we stay busy and keep the kids busy, but it's a lot of fun. We have all of our returning players and some of the younger kids work for us and kind of coach the kids, which is, I think, our favorite part of it probably.
Absolutely.
But that part's been great. So pretty much the same youth slate, but it's gone really well.
How about any activities with your team, either captain-led or anything during the off-season?
Yeah, so particularly the fall, we just try to get kids in the gym as much as we can, get them opportunities to get better. Have a preseason meeting. We had a captain's dinner just to talk about the upcoming season. But yeah, just sort of open gyms. We did a joint skill session with Nord and Walpole, which was really great, just to get a little bit, more of a competitive atmosphere. And the kids are working hard. The turnout has been pretty good, so we're excited to get started.
That's great. Coach St. Martin?
Yeah, as soon as the season ended, we took some time off, and then we come back in the spring and do a lot of plyometric work and some body work all throughout the spring. And then once June hits, the beginning of June, we start our strength and conditioning program with Coach Jason Aguiar over there in the Vanderbilt Club at Pinnacle Performance. And then we transition to the preseason work, which is 3 days a week with him as well. All the way through the fall. And then we have a spring and summer and a fall league that we run. On top of that, this year we were able to partner with Medway, Norwood, Needham, and to do some skill work with players. So we were able to get in the gym with the less than 50% rule, same thing that Coach Clifford was talking about. And then we also partnered up with with Holliston and a couple other schools too on the weekends in the summer and did some skill work with them. So it's been good.
And Coach Clifford, you mentioned the programs that you put on for the youth. Mm-hmm. Any highlights? Some of the best witnessed events for me in those programs is coming in where you're doing the pop shot, win a prize at the end of those. At the end of those, make a deal. Yeah. So any highlights that came? Any future stars in the make a deal shootout?
Lizzie cleans us out every year.
Yeah, the Weeman family's killing us. Yeah, that's always a fun part. I think other highlights for kids, Money Basket, kids love.
Correct.
My nephew was able to come to camp for the first time this summer to our summer clinic, so he had a blast, and that was his favorite part. We get a lot of feedback about that.
Right.
With some of the skill stuff we do, we've added even just straightforward relay races with our younger kids, and those are a blast.
Right.
So we obviously get a lot of basketball work in, but the kids have a lot of fun too, so it's been great.
That's great. So we're on the cusp of Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving not only means turkey and football, but it also means tryouts.
Right.
Tryouts following the following Monday. So talk about, Coach St. Martin, we'll start with you. Talk about what you're expecting going into tryouts, both from your captains as well as all of the players coming back and trying out.
Well, we make it kind of clear that tryouts are really important in the sense that at any point in time, anybody can make a team or not make a team. There's no guaranteed spots for anybody. We've cut returners. If you earn it those 2 days, then you get the spot. I mean, that's just the way it rolls, and it's the fairest way to do it for us. So the expectation is folks who have been in the program and who've been a part of that, you figured that they would make the team because they know the expectations, but it doesn't always work out that way. So you're going to go in for your 2 days and get a fair shot, and it's very intense. There's a lot of conditioning embedded into drill work, which kind of sets us up to what the practices are going to be like for the whole year. So tryouts are just a mirror of what practice is going to be like, and that's what we say to the kids, is make sure that you're prepared for that. Because if this is difficult or something that you see like, man, I'm not sure if I can actually do this, then something to think about, because you're going to be doing it for the next 3 months or so. But every year it gets harder and harder every year, because the talent level keeps getting closer and closer, and kids work really, really hard. So tryouts are like this. It's one of the toughest things of coaching, because you're cutting kids that have really worked extremely hard. It's just somebody else was better. And like Coach Clifford always says, it's a numbers game. You only have so many spots to keep. So players really go out there and work really hard, but you always feel bad, because you're telling somebody that they weren't good enough at this moment to make this particular team. Doesn't mean they're not good. It just means at this particular moment somebody else was better.
Talk a little bit about the structure of the tryouts. So
Sure.
I believe the varsity we'll find out before the JV and the freshmen. Just walk people through that.
Sure. So we because the season happens so fast, we don't really have a preseason to prepare as well, especially this year with things starting so much later. Varsity, we only go Monday and Tuesday. So by Tuesday night, we bring every player in personally and tell them, what their status was or is, and then if they have any questions or anything they wanted answered. So we do it face to face. We don't post names on a thing like that happened when I was a kid. We, that's used to post a name and then you have to read it. And so this way it was face to face. Anybody has any questions, anything they want to know, and then from there, if you're an underclassman, then from there, JV tryouts will start. So the freshmen are going on themselves, and for the first day, all the freshmen try out together, and if the freshman coach feels as a freshman that's worthy to take a shot at varsity, then we'll bring them up for that second day. And then if they don't make it, they will go into the JV tryout, and that lasts a few days as well. So freshmen and JV will continue usually to about Wednesday or Thursday, and then, or maybe sometimes Friday, depending on the like how close it is, to give somebody an extra shot. Like if it's really close and they want to give another day, they usually can do that. But for us, our first scrimmage is that Sunday, so we don't really have time to. And it's BC High, so it's not,
That's just Division I. No,
right.
That's nonsense.
Right,
Yeah.
which is great. We do it every year, and it's a great first scrimmage. But it's right around the corner, so you have to try to get as much of your stuff in as possible. So it's difficult.
Coach Clifford, I'm sure there's a little bit of a variation to the girls' side.
Yeah, the structure's pretty similar to start. We have all the freshmen together on one day and all the sophomores, juniors, and seniors at a separate tryout. The second day we'll call up some freshmen that we're considering for JV or varsity. It doesn't mean they'll make it. Doesn't mean anyone that wasn't called up that second day won't make JV or varsity. But we try to pick the varsity team on Tuesday, just like the boys do. And again, we start the second, and our first game's the 13th this year. So you can do the math on I think if you take out our scrimmages and our tryouts, we have 6 practices before our first game.
Right.
So things are tight. So we really need to get the ball rolling. Last year was the first season I needed a third day for varsity tryouts. Just wasn't ready and wasn't seeing enough to make those decisions. I would like to not have to extend, but that's obviously an option. You want to make sure you make the right decisions, and
Correct.
with there's so many great kids involved, and you want to make sure people get in the right places and you make the right calls. So that's kind of it for us. It's pretty similar, and then JV and freshmen will go one more day to kind of sort out those teams. So we like to have all of our rosters set by Wednesday, but we'll see how it goes. We're gonna again make sure we do it right.
And on the girls' side, in previous years, there have been a mix between a true freshman team, a JV, JV1, JV2. So is it just a numbers game, or do you have an expectation going in how that structure is going to lay out?
I don't. I kind of learned that lesson you need to just see it's a fairly big freshman class. They're really athletic. I think one of my favorite things about tryouts is seeing kids that are ready to make that jump, whether it's from 8th grade to JV or from JV to varsity, that sort of thing. It's all about so many kids, it catches up to them that they've been relying on their athleticism and instincts, which is great. But then there's the IQ side that has to come into it, or you're not going to survive at the varsity level. So we do a lot of evaluating that specific piece. We do the conditioning, the drills, the scrimmaging, all that stuff, but that's one of the bigger things. And then the other thing I always tell the girls, it's one of the hardest things to do at a tryout, is to balance standing out as an individual, but also showing me that you can play as a team system, that you fit our style, and that sort of balance is kind of hard. So we talk a lot about that as well. But it'll be intense and stressful, and I can promise you I won't sleep Tuesday night after we make those decisions, and you're breaking hearts. But it's fun. It's the most exciting time of the year. It's a really tough day, but just those couple days making those teams. But then we'll be off to the races.
One of the great things, if you truly love basketball and you aren't able to make a team, Westwood Media Center would love to have you participate in a number of different roles that would really help us, right? Whether that's commentating, whether that's some camera work, or just helping behind the scenes. So I'll throw that out there, and again, we've had that conversation in the past. Okay, so now looking ahead. So you've got tryouts in the near future, you get through tryouts. We've had the same conversation each year, but what goals do you have going in to the current season? And then why don't you intro the captains, because we're going to be meeting them next. So, Coach Clifford.
Sure. I think in terms of goals, I think there's so many unknowns in our program this year that I think my first goal is just to get the roster set. You really have to take things one step at a time, and it starts there. We have 6 healthy returners. Elizabeth Gill, unfortunately, is out this season with a torn ACL. She's recovering from surgery and doing really well. Just the timetable won't match up with our season. So anytime you take a league MVP out of the mix, that changes things. So I'm excited by the number of unknowns that we have. I mean, if you think about putting a season together like a puzzle, I'd have a little bit of the edges done, and I sort of know, but there's just so much up in the air, which will be fun. So it really depends on, what are we going to run for offense? I don't know. I don't know who's on the team yet. I don't know who's going to be able to score and what spots and that kind of thing. So it's a different sort of excitement. There's a lot of unknowns, a lot of uncertainty, but I think I'm looking forward to getting to work. So we're going to be, I think, slow to roll out our goals. But I think the consistent one is just to improve every day, get close as a team. That's kind of the early season focus, and then sort of go from there and see where we're at.
Coach St. Martin?
I mean, the expectations always stay the same for us as far as, we expect us to get better every day, right? To put the best effort forward to get better. You can't accomplish any goal if you're not doing that. It doesn't matter what other goals you set for yourself. The number one focus has to be is what I'm doing today, did I get better? So what was the effort like in practice? What was the effort like in the weight room? What was the effort like during film study? Like, how did we prepare ourselves? Are we preparing to fail, or are we preparing to be successful? And that's the mindset and the number one arching thing that we talk about in the program. Now, again, we've always talked about you keep wins and losses. I mean, so who doesn't want to win? We're very fortunate this year, and this is the 3rd time we have a chance to do this, to do something that the program's never done. Like last year, we won the TVO. We've never won back-to-back. We've had 2 chances in the past and haven't been able to get over the hump with that. So that's obviously going to be something that's very special, and it's a great opportunity, and it's an opportunity that last year's seniors and last year's underclassmen put this year's group of players an option to do. And so that's something that's very great, and to have those things. We're not talking about trying to do something else. We have an option in front of us that wasn't there before, and so that's great, that's special. And then after that, it's just, obviously you want to make the tournament and go into runs in the tournament, see how far you can go. This team has a tremendous amount of potential to do some really great things, but the focal point always when we talk about things is, when my head hits the pillow at night, am I going to regret the effort that I gave? Because at the end, I can't go back and do it again. You only got one shot at this. So make sure that the experience I have is one that I want, and the experience that the team has is one that my teammates want, and that's what we talk about the most. The goals, the winning, all the stuff, we can put them on a board and look at them, but it's the day-to-day stuff that you do that's either going to lead you to those or take you away from them. And that's the goal that we set ourselves for. So
that's great. Okay, so the next segment, we're going to meet the captains. And it's pretty exciting because some of them, it's their first time being in around the hoop. So Coach Clifford, why don't you intro your captains?
Yeah, so I have 3 returning seniors. It'll be their 3rd year on varsity, so we're excited to have them back as senior leaders. Sarah Roycroft, Olivia Holbrook, and Taylor Kane, so they'll be here. And then junior Elizabeth Gill, who I just mentioned, is a captain as well. We had great team leadership and great team chemistry last year, and I'm excited for these guys to kind of continue that and just kind of be in that spotlight now, so
that's
it'll
great.
be fun.
Coach St. Martin?
Jack Turgeon, Pat Riley, Favor Waraboku, John Ing, and James McGowan, who is the junior, is the captains this year. So we're very excited about those guys. I mean, we've already met, just like Coach Clifford talked about, and kind of, put that ball in their court, like, hey, what do you want this experience to be? So, and got them thinking, and they're tremendous. We're very fortunate to have really great kids, and that's makes the experience so much better because you're not fighting that. Where I talk to a lot of coaches, coach talks to a lot of coaches, and there's a frustration level because the kids they have aren't committed to what the program is for one reason or other. And we're very fortunate to have great kids that really want to do the best they can, and it just makes the job so much more fun. They're fun to be around. They're fun to joke with. So it's just a great experience to do this.
And every year that starts with the captains. So
absolutely, they set the tone. I mean, they are the tone setters. Your captains and your seniors set the tone for your program, and not just for your own team, but all the other teams underneath you, because they're the ones that you want to point to a younger player and say, hey, do what they're doing. So they set the tone for everything. And they've been great at taking more responsibility on in the off season to do things too, because life changes for all of us, and my life changed some, so there's not a lot that you can get to and do, so it's good to have good leadership there.
That's great. Well, again, get some sleep between now and Thanksgiving,
Right.
because you're going to blink and the season will be upon us.
Right.
So again, welcome back. I'm really excited
Thank
about
you.
what's to
Same.
come,
Same,
and
yeah.
look forward to meeting the captains as well.
Great.
Right.
So with that note, we will be back in just a second with the girls captains. Welcome back. Joining me are the girls captains for the 2019-2020 season. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you for having us. Hi.
So why don't we have you introduce yourself to the audience?
Hi, I'm Olivia Holbrook. I'm a senior. I've been on varsity for 3 years. I've been playing since 2nd grade, and I'm a guard.
I'm Taylor Kane. I'm a senior. This is my 3rd year in varsity. I've been playing since I was in 2nd grade, and I'm a point guard.
Great.
I'm Elizabeth Gill. I'm a junior. I've been playing on varsity for 3 years now, and I've been playing since 2nd grade, and I'm a forward.
I'm Sarah Roycroft. I'm a senior. I've been playing on varsity for 3 years. I've been playing since 2nd grade, and I'm also a forward.
Great. Well, once again, congratulations on being selected captains, and
Thank you.
good luck as you get ready for your upcoming tryouts. As Coach Clifford and St. Martin said, there's no guarantees, so it would be really weird if one of the captains didn't make the team.
Yep.
So hopefully you've all put in the work necessary. So Sarah, we'll start with you. First year being a captain, talk about what it means to you to be a captain.
Well, I think we can all agree that being a captain is just being a leader and being a good role model for all the girls on the team. So this year, I just hope to be a really good leader and someone that everyone can look up to, but also being really approachable. I hope everyone isn't afraid, and I think we're all, even though I'm a captain, we're all in the same boat. We're all on the team, and I can go to a sophomore asking for advice. They can come to me. So yeah.
That's great. Taylor, over the last month or two, as you're getting ready for the season, what have some of the responsibilities as being a captain been for you and for the rest of your fellow captains?
I feel like putting together some open gyms, trying to figure out how to do those, and then also just I've been doing a couple of clinics with Lindsay Hallian, and so is Olivia. So definitely getting ready for the preseason.
Yeah. And Elizabeth, kind of a different tone to being a captain this year. So as Coach Clifford mentioned, unfortunately you suffered an injury, which is going to prevent you from playing this year. So how do you take that captain position and do everything you can to help this team when unfortunately you're not going to be able to be out there on the court?
Yeah, for sure. So for me, something that's really important is being able to build up my teammates and make sure they're in the best spot that they could be to be successful. So definitely before I would be able to lead by example in playing, and I would be able to help people that way. Now I think helping people figure out what's best for them and how they can score and play defense, and just figure out ways that they're going to contribute and just be great teammates. And I think it's important just to lead by example, and now I've got that more of the cheerleader role where I can help and encourage and cheer everybody on.
But not jump around too much.
Not jump around too much.
There you go. Olivia, so as a captain, you come into the tryouts, and again, you're going to be leading by example. You're going to be working with the underclassmen, other seniors. What are some of the goals that you have either individually or as a team through the tryouts and into the early part of the season?
I think one of the big goals is just like to start out strong. Like tryouts should be at a fast pace because like that's going to lead into our first practice and our first game. So tryouts need to be like very energetic, and it's our responsibility to show those underclassmen how to do that.
So this is an open question. Anybody can jump in. You've all played for 3 years on varsity. You've all seen some pretty amazing captains. What are some of the lessons that you've learned from those captains? You can either name them individually or just general themes that you've seen. So anybody, whoever jumps in can answer that one.
I think being really approachable, that's something that's going to be important because, especially for the underclassmen, it can be really intimidating making that jump to varsity. And having someone who you can go to and not be afraid to ask questions and just like learn by example, that'll be great. Yeah.
Just making sure everyone else is included, and like even if you're like a freshman on the team, sophomore on the team, like you can hang out with the seniors like after school or anything. Like everyone's on the same playing field.
And like I feel like once the season ended, like I know like coming into this season, like we're really gonna miss last year's captains, and we're really gonna like feel their absence at the beginning of the season.
That's great. Well, I think that's pretty short and sweet. I hope to see most of you back here. We typically will do a player of the week or a standout player from both the boys and the girls side. I certainly expect to see you all back here. Elizabeth, again, my heart is in my on my sleeve here. You know, it's terrible to see you injured, but I know you're going to do an amazing job as captain.
Thank you very much.
And so we'll see you at the gym on a regular basis. So again, thank you. Good luck on the season. Get some sleep because you're going to need it. Don't eat too much on Thanksgiving as well. So again, congratulations on being captains.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Welcome back. I'm joined by the boys captains for 2019 and 2020 season. Welcome back, gentlemen. Every single one of you has been on Around the Hoop in the past. So again, welcome back. Why don't you introduce yourself to the Westwood community and the world at large? Patrick?
So my name is Pat Riley. I'm a senior, and this is going to be my 3rd year on varsity.
I'm Jack Turgeon. I'm going to be a senior, and this is my 4th year on varsity.
My name is James McGowan. I'm a junior, and this will be my 3rd year on varsity.
I'm Favor Wariboko. I'm a senior, and this is going to be my 3rd year on varsity.
I'm John Ng, and I'm a senior, and this is my 3rd year on varsity.
Awesome. So again, congratulations to all of you on being captain. It's a pretty big honor, and as we just heard from the girls, hopefully you've taken a lot of the experiences from past captains, and you're going to emulate them. So we'll start off. Jack, you can lead us out here. Similar question to what I asked the girls. What does it mean to be a captain for this upcoming season?
Well, it means to set an example for the younger kids and set a tone for practice, for games, coming out of the game fast, and also making sure that everyone feels like they're a part of the team, and like also setting up things with different activities such as open gyms, like they said, and also, yeah, that was about it. Okay.
Jonathan, again, congrats on being a captain. I've followed all of your playing careers up through the WBA, and you've excelled every year and gotten better and better. How do you take the experience that you've had and at the lower levels all the way through and pass that on to a freshman, a sophomore, whether they're on varsity or JV, now that you're going to be a captain?
Well, since I've experienced all like you said before, all throughout my basketball career, there are other centers like Mike Reardon, Connor Daniele, and Brad Nelson, and they all I see potential in all of them, and using my memories and experiences, in practices I'll usually teach them the moves I've learned from past seniors in my position, and give them advice whenever I see them do something wrong, and then support them when they do something right.
That's great. James, talk about the effort that you've put forward as a captain so far before the tryouts even start.
So throughout the spring, summer, and fall, we've had countless open gyms, lifting with Jason Aguilar at Pinnacle Performance, and have just a lot of workouts and a lot of individual stuff because we can't always get the gym. So a lot of people have just put in individual work to get better and prepare for the season.
And what role do you play as a captain in that? Are you coordinating? Are you, getting people and kind of picking them up if they didn't show up to particular lifting?
Yeah. One of the things about being a captain is that you have to hold everyone responsible. So it's, if they don't show up, I have to text them and say, like, look where you're at. Like, we want to be good this year, so you got to get better. And then it's like organizing the open gym. So like today after school at 3 or like that, and tell them when the lifts are and stuff like that.
Got it. I'm assuming most of you, if not all of you, are driving. So does being a captain include picking players up and driving them down to Vanderbilt Club for lifting?
I mean, yeah, at times it does, but it also includes like just trying to find rides for others, and then like also sometimes me, since I don't have a car, getting a ride from others, but just like connecting everyone on the team to be comfortable enough to say that, oh, if you need a ride, we'll get you, like that we support you, basically.
That's great. And then Pat, we talked about goals, both individually as well as a team. Do you share some of those goals with the other players before tryouts even start? Or is it all about getting in the best shape you can be to give your best effort?
So it's definitely about being in the best shape, doing everything physically that you can do to get better, since like when the season hits, it's more about how can we get better like as a team versus individually. Some other goals that we share though, and I think we've tried to develop over the off season, is more getting ready and like preparing ourselves with our mentality, and not only the physical things. So that's like coming in, hitting the ground running right when the season starts, and just getting ready mentally. Yeah.
So Jack, you actually had a very successful cross-country campaign. Again, congratulations on all the successes, both individually and the team in general. Coming in from another sport, again, very strenuous sport where you're keeping in top physical shape. Were you staying in touch with the guys? Obviously, you weren't doing all of the physical activities. So, as a captain, how do you keep in communication with them? And then, are you working with other players that may be in another sport, whether it's football, whether it's cross country, et cetera?
Yeah, I still played basketball during my time with cross country at Lifetime and everything, and I kept in touch with everybody through group chats and everything. I heard like all the open gyms that they were trying to get people to come at, and all the conversations that they have with other players, and also captains group chats. And yeah, coming in from a different sport was nice to come in from that, because it was good for basketball and have my legs all ready for the season though.
Yeah, and by the way, if Coach Lyons is listening to this, I apologize. I had no idea that he was playing basketball, nor did Coach St.
I actually got 4 stitches playing basketball, so he knows.
Well, Coach Lyons was my coach back at Bentley College, so
Oh, wow.
I think I did some similar tomfoolery back in the day. Okay, so now let's shift gears, right? So we're about a week and a half away from tryouts. We've got a really interesting week of prep. We'll just leave it at that coming up. What are you guys trying to do? Again, you mentioned getting in top physical, performance, in yourself and your team. But what are you going to do now as a captain? We'll start with you.
So basically, we have some workouts coming up, making sure everyone's getting there, and like making sure everyone else knows what they're getting into, like with tryouts and stuff, knowing how serious we take it and how we want to be great this year. So I think our responsibility is to not only prep ourselves for the season, but in this time frame when we've gotten much closer, is to make sure everyone else is ready for the season too.
Great. James, coming off of a thumb injury, you're going to be a little bit more reserved in the upcoming week of prep. So what are you going to do without the ability to do some of the more strenuous push-ups or shooting, et cetera?
So basically, pretty much the main thing I can do is run, but I can also do some modified lifting and modified like basketball, so like dribbling with my left. But more than that, it's more getting everyone else ready, because I've been through this before, like my body can take it, but it's more like the mental side and getting everyone else who hasn't gone through it to get through it.
That's great. I'll shift gears yet again. So one of the things that Coach St. Martin said is that the work that the team last year put forward, the upperclassmen as well as yourselves, gave this team a phenomenal opportunity to effectively make history here in Westwood, where you could see back-to-back TVL championships. It hasn't been done. So is that something that you have in the back of your mind, or do you just put it out and, again, just focus on the here and now? Jonathan?
Well, I say like it is in the back of our minds, but I think we all are focused on the bigger picture making a huge playoff run, because we all know that we're capable, our team is capable of reaching like the TVL championship, and that's just, we can reach the make a better playoff run than we did last year with the team, since we have 11 returners and we have some promising up-and-comers.
That's great. Any other team goals other than, again, do the best you can, put yourself in a great position to capture that back-to-back TVL championship, make a deeper run in the tournament? Are there any other individual or team goals that you guys have set as captains? Anybody can answer that.
I think a state championship is the next goal in the line.
There we go. Yeah, I like it. I like it.
And
So-
stay healthy.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Make sure
Yeah,
that's-
that's great. So again, congratulations to all 5 of you. I've seen all of you in these seats on Around the Hoop in previous years. I firmly expect to see all of you back here. Again, give it your all. And as I said to the girls, it would be really, really, really weird if one of you as a captain didn't make the team. So give your all, give your best effort, and set a great example for the underclassmen.
Thanks.
So again, go Wolverines, and we'll see you at Bader Gymnasium.
Thank you.
I want to thank everybody for joining us on Around the Hoop, the Westwood basketball program. It's hard to believe Season 4, Episode 1 is in the books. I want to give special thanks to Coach St. Martin and Coach Clifford. They've been phenomenal partners in this journey over the last 4 years. Also want to thank the staff here at Westwood Media Center. Erica Adams is new to the team. Welcome, Erica. Connor Lynch, does all of our government programming and general awesome guy here in the studio. And then Melinda Garfield is the executive director. If you haven't been down to 15 Purwall Street, you're missing out. Westwood Media Center is a phenomenal asset for the town. It's an asset that really relies on you, the citizens of Westwood, to take advantage of it and become part of the fabric of our community. We are looking for a sponsor for Around the Hoop. We could potentially carve it up into different pieces, Coach's Corner, as well as the Player of the Week. So we got an inside track to one of the girls' captains' fathers, who I happen to see a couple of times a week getting physical therapy. I'll be in touch on that one. But if there's other interested parties out there, please reach out to myself or Melinda Garfield here at Westwood Media Center. We will try to do weekly segments as the season kicks off. Sometimes schedules are a little difficult. And if you have any ideas on how we can make the show better, please feel free to reach out. Again, this is your town and your basketball community. So we really enjoy doing this and bringing this to each and every one of you. So on behalf of Westwood Media Center, I'm Michael Gay. We'll see you at Westwood Bader Gymnasium for some basketball and here at Around the Hoop.